You can always be thinner. Look better.
record the audio at the software that I use to edit. I will talk now about today's trade and why I took this trade. So let's talk about that. So if you saw at the beginning of the video, I showed my plan. That was a sweep of this high or a sweep of this high. So we had this sweep, we had a very good candle closure below with this week, very bearish. So here I was very bearish, but on the 1 minute I was waiting to see these two bullish fair value gaps getting inverted, and then we had news and the price just nuked, and when these fair value gaps got respected, we had already swept this low, and after sweeping this low, I was also thinking that we could revert from here, but at the same time, I really trusted this sweep. I really trusted this sweep. I thought we would have had a reaction like we had on the last days, like this sweep and other sweeps. So here we had all this space to just go down, and I trusted this sweep. We had also a 1 hour fair value gap above, so high confluence sweep. And after this leg down, after the news, I just marked the 0.5 level, and we touched the level and we left this big wick, and here I started to think that we were very bearish, respected in a very bearish way the equilibrium level, and to touch the equilibrium we created this bullish fair value gap, and after seeing this week I just said to myself that I would wait for this fair value gap to get inverted, and after that I would enter at the retest, and that's what I did. The fair value gap got inverted, then the price hit my entry, but then just continue going higher. So today we had a loss of 0.5%. The fails that I had for the day, I can say that I trusted it too much this sweep, and after seeing this bullish sweep I still was looking for shorts, and that was my errors for the day. But even after seeing this sweep and after the price giving me this reaction at the 0.5, I was very bearish still, and after this fair value gap got inverted I was very bearish, so I ignored this sweep because the price gave me a reason to ignore it. But if we respected this gap and if we just ignored the 0.5 level, I would have not taken a trade. But I followed my strategy. I need to execute when I need to execute, so that's what I did. So it was a loss, but at the same time was a win because I learned something today. And the other thing that I learned today was that after big moves, after news, the price usually sweeps important levels and then just reverses. But here after this week I was very bearish. I followed my strategy, so today was a lesson, not a loss. So tomorrow I'll be back. Tomorrow the market will give me more opportunities, so I'm good. This week I only took this trade, but it is what it is. Tomorrow let's see if the price looks clean to take trades. Tomorrow I might take trades on the London session, but I'll see if I take on the London session or a New York session. So see you tomorrow. Tomorrow I'll be back. So if you like this video, like and subscribe, and see you soon.